Hello, everybody. Welcome to Canucks News You Might Have Missed. This is an absolutely massive edition of Canucks News You Might Have Missed, our episodic series that we do here on this channel. And who better than to have Corey at V Canucks News, Canucks Army, the Canucks News summary guy himself, to join us. Corey, this is going to be a fun one, hey?
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
And just to let you guys know, I did kind of like a little prequel to this video. Go check that one out on my channel. We also talked a little bit about the rebuild, potential rebuild, if it's a rebuild, whatever, going on. So this Quinn Hughes trade, Marco Rossi, Liam Holmgren, Zeev, Buyam, I think I said it right, and 2026 first round draft pick. First, my take here. Again, losing Quinn Hughes, it's devastating. You lost your franchise guy. You're losing one of the best defensemen, by far the best defenseman in the Canucks history. Second best overall, in my opinion, defenseman in the league. So you were never going to win this package. It sucks. But the deal itself, you know what? I think they did a pretty good job. You know, they got 4 potential-ish kind of first-rounders. Zeev apparently is like one of the guys that people are extremely high on. I haven't watched him as much, but some people are like insanely sorry, like potential star potential or quality here. We all know about Marco Rossi. I think we talked about him for like 2 months straight on a thing. So Corey, your quick opinions before we get to all the news. Elliot Friedman, Allvin, and all that stuff. What do you think about the trade?
I'm shocked that it's the Wild. Like, that's the shocking thing to me, that it's a Western Conference team. But of course, Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin deal with their old assistant GM in Pittsburgh, Bill Guerin. Like, the Pittsburgh connection maintains and it is as strong as ever. But you see why they take it. That is about as good of a haul as you're going to get for trading Quinn Hughes. Like, realistically, like that is an excellent haul. You're not taking on any underwater contracts. And something I think is not even really talked about, but I thought it might have been a factor, is the Olympics are coming up. Quinn Hughes will play at the Olympics. I think there's serious worry that a lot of players are going to get hurt at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, Minnesota could, in theory, just flip him if he doesn't want to sign in the offseason with them. They can flip him to New Jersey or wherever. Not going to get as much, but they could still get a pretty decent package. It's kind of happened with the whole Rantanen situation. All right, let's get to the news. There's a lot of news. Let's start with Patrick Allvin. I'll let you take it away. My voice is a little shot. I'm trying my best, but go, Corey. Knock it out.
Yeah, it just says it's a tough day, but, you know, excited to play with to build with younger players. Negotiations have been going on for a couple of weeks, and they're trying to maximize the return. We're trying to convince Quinn to stay, but it became apparent he wouldn't re-sign, so they started looking at trades. The leadership will be shared moving forward. He'll talk to Adam Foote about kind of what to do next, how to handle that. Buyam is a young defenseman with a history of winning, extremely talented, offensive-minded, and has playoff experience. Last year, he didn't play in the regular season, but he came right from college and played in the playoffs. He looks stronger and more composed this season. Also has the ability to power play the quarterback, which is, you know, pretty big thing. The Canucks didn't have a player to really do that.
Who's leaving? Yes. Well, Hronek, I think, could fill in the gap pretty well, and he has had a good season. But you're right. Buyam was going to have a significant opportunity to be that guy, and I hope he thrives with that opportunity.
Yeah, you know? They're rebuilding, retooling. He says like retooling, rebuilding, and like I don't think they care what they call it. They're trying to bring in players that are 25 and under. Felt injuries have forced the young players to play bigger roles than expected. Plan is to use the newly acquired first-round pick in the draft. Doesn't believe that they have a culture problem. Not the reason that Hughes was traded. Has a lot of respect for the personal things Miller went through last season. That was in direct response to a question: is there a culture problem?
And I will say this on that plan to use the newly acquired first-round pick in the draft. Jim Rutherford did have an interview. We will get to that eventually. And he really went more deep dive into it about the whole how the rebuild conversation and how if we're going to go. He didn't sound like he wanted to trade that pick. Like it really went and sounded, if you guys listen to it, like he's like, listen, yeah, sure, we could trade it for a young guy, but we're still looking to get draft picks and stuff. This does feel like an actual rebuild. Is it going to be 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long they're going to do it, but it looks like they're ready to crash down at least a little bit before they start working their way up. And I think a lot of Canucks fans are going to be happy with that. Continue on.
Thought they had a great team, but unfortunately things happen. Needed to adapt, adjust, and retool. Fans should be excited about the young or the youth that is joining the team, and the growth of the players from Abbotsford. Will continue to build a championship team with young players.
Let me ask you about the whole culture situation there. He says that he doesn't believe that there is a culture problem, and not the reason why Quinn was traded. Do you think the Vancouver Canucks have a culture problem?
I have no idea what's going on in that dressing room.
Yeah, fair.
Is the short answer to it. Like, obviously they had a problem last year. And they apparently had problems the year before. Like, even Myers talked about needing to get the room right. But then in 23, 24, it seemed the culture was fixed. Everything was going great, but also winning solves everything. You win, you don't have a culture problem for the most part. Some teams still do, but for the most part, it solves a lot of it masks a lot of issues. Everyone's happy. And then as soon as you're not winning anymore, that's when things start to bubble to the surface. And I think that's a big part of it. But this is ultimately just a reset of everything.
Yeah, a reset's the word.
Well, and the fact that they're talking about trading veterans and trading UFAs and trading these guys, like, that's, they might not want to say that they have a culture problem. They might not even truly believe it, but they do feel they need to get younger. And a part of getting younger is rebuilding the culture, is just getting new people in and figure that out, while keeping a few veterans around. Like, they're not going to trade every veteran. They're going to keep a couple guys around.
This is kind of step one of the plan here. We'll see which veterans do stay and which ones do get traded. I think it's pretty fair to say that Sherwood, if he's not going to get extended, he's going to get traded. So at least there's one there, and that's going to get you at least the first or a couple second rounders or something like that for Sherwood, I'm pretty sure. So they're going to get even more draft capital, which is why I don't hope they don't just flip these guys for more players. Like, just draft these guys. We need depth in the organization, clearly, right? We have guys coming up and playing. Like, just go make those picks. I'm perfectly happy. I think people would be happy, especially this draft. This is not a Joe, like a whatever Joe Schmo draft. Like, this is a stacked draft. A lot of people are saying this is one of the deeper drafts in the
pretty
thing.
Joe Schmo draft. It's not a deeper draft. It's the top of the draft is considered pretty good, and then it kind of fades a little bit after that, at least from what I'm saying. The problem is you can't tend not to get an actual really good grasp of that until later in the season and how it actually looks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because I remember we had drafts where were like super overhyped, and then turned out there wasn't that much there. And then other drafts are like, oh, this isn't that great. And then it turned out amazing. We don't really know. We're just taking our best guesses from just what media
look at
people
last
saying,
year's draft, right? Like, it wasn't considered a very good draft at the top. It was, who is it? And Matthew Schaefer now looks like almost a generational talent.
Yeah, Schaefer looks unbelievable.
Like,
unbelievable.
Ben Kindle. Or Kindell, I guess is how his name's pronounced. Like, look at him. He steps right into the NHL as a third line center and looks great. Like, I think there's an overrating a lot of time of what a draft is and how deep one is. And sometimes it is right. It just takes a little bit longer to get there.
And Coots made the Canucks as a rookie, like, out of nowhere. Like, who knows how good he's going to be. All right, Jamie Murphy here at SickPod NHL and at RG Media. Hearing the Vancouver all caps, hearing the all caps of the Washington Capitals and the Vancouver Canucks discussed McMichael, Cole Hudson, a prospect. We don't know what the prospect is, and 2 first-rounders for Hughes, but Canucks, in my honest opinion, got a better haul from the Wild. If they did that deal, do you think that would be a better deal than the deal we currently got from Minnesota, or do you think it's worse?
Worse.
Depending, I think and talent. I think it's worse.
I think because it's worse, or I think because there's no way that prospect is not Ilya Protas, who's the brother of Alexei, who's like a 19-year-old 6'6" center at point per game playing in the AHL. That kid is one of the best prospects in the league right now, and if that was who the prospect was, that's who they put in there. Like, if they would say the name. So I think if he was included, that's probably a better group, just because I think that's such a good pick. I'm not a huge fan of Cole Hudson. To be fair, I've not watched a lot of him play. I think his numbers are great. He doesn't play the same way as Lane does. He's a little bit more physical with driving to the net, which I don't think is going to work with a small stature in the NHL. But he'll still probably be an effective player. I like McMichael a lot, but I think Rossi's a more talented offensive player, and those two firsts are like if the Caps have their way, they're going to be late in the first round, right? Like they're going to be 30th overall. So I like the upside that the Canucks are getting more with Booyam and Rossi, and I like Ogren. I like him quite a bit actually.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. So this is on the Don and Dolly. They did a live stream. It was pretty awesome. And they obviously did some other stuff.
You want to see two old guys and their son try to figure out technology? It's great.
Rick Dollywall, I love Rick, man. I really love just dropping a massive F-bomb at the very beginning was so fucking funny. Just like I just did it right there. All right.
He's using his son's iPhone throughout the whole thing. And so it says Joey's iPhone. And they're going like, who's Joey? It's my son. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, I right away noticed when that he's using his kid's phone, isn't he?
Was out of the blue and caught everybody off guard. Wild called last Saturday to get involved and were aggressive right away. This is very important because Rutherford did go out and went to way more detail on this specific fact. And it's really fascinating. It looks like the Vancouver Canucks got some serious indication. They're saying it was in the training camp, but like something must have, obviously the losing accelerated things with the whole Quinn Hughes, but like, they knew he wasn't going to sign here, like 99.9%. So they're like, okay, let's run with this. Everyone they acquired was under 25 years old, have been after Rossi for a while. We know. We talked about Rossi at night. We know everything about Rossi. I know what kind of food Rossi. No, I don't. But
we know what the trade offer was for him from the Wild. Like we know what the Canucks could have paid to get him in the offseason. So
shows them how high they are on him, right? So Canucks have known for a while that Hughes wasn't going to resign. Hughes' preference was to go to an East, but the Wild really stepped up. Thinks the Canucks losing was a big part of why he got traded now.
Yeah.
They will. Okay, so that answered my question right away. They will move the first round pick for an NHL ready player, but also may keep it. May or not be in play depending on trade. So there's a little more to this. Okay, so that was Rick Dollywall mentioned that they're willing to trade it, but Jim Rutherford did talk about this in a lot more detail during his kind of like interview type conference thing that he had with Hart Farhan and other guys, and he basically, my opinion, just the way he sounded, it didn't sound like he had any real interest unless it's like a really good young player, like someone extremely talented. Like, it doesn't seem like this is something they want to do. It's something that it could happen, but it's not going to happen.
If you can get Kent Johnson for the first, would you do it?
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Right? Like, that's what I mean. People's like, we better not trade the first. I'm like, well, all indication from everyone is if they trade the first, it's because that's the type of player that they're able to get. And then it's like, you're not going to knock that because you hope that the player you get is going to turn into Kent Johnson. So,
doesn't think they're done at all. Of course not. This is step one of the plan. We have to get some UFAs to get traded here and get more draft picks or I guess young players if they're looking for that. But I think people are so happy right now. We have a couple firsts and all this stuff. I think people are going to be happy regardless if we get a half decent package here for Sherwood and whoever else. Need to ask some guys if they're going to stick around for the rebound. All right, so that's an interesting part. I really want to talk about this. So, okay. If you're a player on the team now, I think it's going to be important to talk to management and see, okay, where do I fit in this situation? So, like, let's just say Connor Garland, where he was in kind of trade talks, but we don't really want to trade Connor Garland. I don't see really a point. But if Connor Garland now secretly goes to the management and says, hey, you know what, I would like to move because I don't want to be on a rebuilding /ish team. Like, you're going to open up even more trades moving forward with some of the more veteran guys, but it's important to have some vets like Jake DeBrusk, for example. I know he probably wants to play for a winner, but like that is just a class individual. He's a great guy to have around the guys, the younger players moving up. So I think it's important to trade a lot of these guys, but I also think it's important to have some veterans in there, or you can't just trade literally every single vet because you need to get some guys for the young guys. Do you agree or disagree on that?
Yeah, and I think DeBrusk was who I was going to bring up as a guy they'll probably keep around just because his age. He is younger than a lot of people.
That's true too. Yeah.
Right. He's pretty young still. He was only 20. He just turned 27 when they first signed him, and his contract is it's long, but it's pretty low AAV, and it doesn't shrink every year, but the cap percentage it takes up gets smaller and smaller pretty significantly every season. So I could see him as a guy they keep around just as a supporting top six piece, but it's going to be more like Lankinen, Demko, Myers, Besser, like what do they want to do? What do you guys want to do? And what can we do? Where you will, if you want out, where are you willing to waive? How can we make this work? Like what is the plan? Because my opinion, I actually think this is probably going to just be, including the season, like a 2-year retool, and they're just going to try to get back to play like playoff contention, not championship, playoff contention.
I hope it's championship contention. I just don't want to hear,
Well,
oh, we want to just have a chance to get in and you never know what's going to happen. No, fuck that. I don't want to know what's going to happen. I want to have a contending team that's
every team
good
says that.
every year. I know, but like
every team says that. That's just talky talk. I mean, like Jim Rutherford says it, and he's won 3 Stanley Cups, right?
Fair
Like
enough.
it's one of those
Fair
things.
enough.
Where it's just the players say it, or teams say it, and then everyone, like, because Jim Benning said it, everyone makes fun of it. But it's just a thing that like they've said forever. I think it's going to be, they're going to do 2 years, and then they aim to be back in the playoffs for year 3.
Yeah.
And then that's the stepping stone. And realistically, with the age of the players that they acquired today, that makes some sense. They got guys who are, in 2 years, Marco Rossi's now 26, Booyam's 22, Ogren's 23. You got, Carlson is going to, Lekaramaki, Wheelock.
Like, my God, there's a
all
lot
these
of talent.
guys,
and these are just the guys now. Like, we're getting the top potentially a top 5 pick.
Yep.
I think also a lot of this have to do with like the lottery luck as well. Like, okay, if you get McKenna, you're probably fast forwarding a year. Like, no joke. So
Lawrence,
or what's
the
the
other
name?
Lawrence is the other guy, or Stenberg. Like there's some other guys, right? I kind of look at it, if you just get a top 3 pick, any of those 3 are probably going to help accelerate things a bit, right? And then, I mean, one problem, if I can go into a little bit of a rant about like getting that first overall pick and then them jumping right to the NHL, is, other than the Islanders, typically you're not a good team and you can't take advantage of the LC at all. And now you have to sign that player to an extension when you're a bad team, right? And so like that kind of becomes part of the problem. So I think the idea is we get that, and we can maybe make the playoffs while that person is like, we could still take advantage of some of these ELC contracts, or we can properly plan it out and we can show good progress. I think that's kind of what they're thinking. I could be wrong, but given the age of Rutherford and what they're doing, I think this is going to be a short, maybe 2-year literal like retool, but they're really going to focus on getting young and then accelerating all that with some veterans later.
So next up, we have Elliotte Friedman. That's always fun to hear what Elliotte has to say. He's one of the best insiders in the world. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, follow Corey on all his socials. Of course, on Twitter at @VCanucksNews. Just awesome. At Canucks Army. Go out there, read his articles. And also subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to our channel, our amazing community here we have. We have an amazing community here. It's still growing, and we're trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year. So that would be... Or by the end of, oh my God, can you imagine? By the end of the year, that would be fucking crazy. I would have to pretty much trade our whole team and just have 1 million videos if that's the case. But anyways, by the end of this season.
It can happen.
All right, so let's get to it. Elliotte Friedman here. I'll let you go on this one.
Sure. How the trade came through. Thought there was a chance the trade could come together quickly. Yeah, gee, Elliotte, you think you sent out that written 32 thoughts like it kind of set things on fire. Like, yeah, of course, bud.
That was my first ever YouTube short, by the way. I did. And,
yeah.
So I was just doing it when I woke up in the morning before I went to work. I'm like, oh, let's just fucking talk about this Elliotte Friedman thing. I'm like, screw it, why not?
He did it so late at night. Like, whenever he does, he normally does his Thursday ones late at night, and he didn't mention, the interesting with that, he didn't bring up anything about Hughes in the podcast. So this morning's podcast, I thought would have something, and it didn't. So kind of interesting. People felt that the longer this went on, the worse it could get. Guerin and Rutherford are cut from the same cloth. I added this part, have a history together in Pittsburgh. Like, right? This is probably about as strong as return as you could get. Rossi had been on the Canucks radar for a while, and Booyam looks like he will be a stud. Are not going to win a Hughes trade, but they did get good young players who will be Canucks for a long time. Would love to know if there was anything out there that could have been a better offer. We really only have that leaked Caps offer.
Well, I'll say this. Jim Rutherford did mention in that thing that we were talking about, we're definitely going to be doing a follow-up video for that Jim Rutherford stuff because there's just a lot there. But he did mention that this is basically the best by far or something. I think he said by far that they had for the deal. And for what's next there, Rutherford is bold and wouldn't put it past him to trade the draft pick. I would be annoyed, as we talked about this already. Canucks have put out there that they will trade their UFAs and some of their veterans. Great. Wonders if the Canucks give this a little bit and see how this changes the team. I hope this means that we're going to be doing at least, whatever you said, 2. I'm hoping 3-year rebuild. And I believe personally that the fans will support and go to the ring and buy tickets and watch these young guys play and develop. I really do. Because like right now, I'm more interested in watching Zeev and Ogren and Lekkerimäki and Willander and DPD than just going out and watching a bunch of veterans, trying to push for wins. Like I would rather watch young guys grow as a team together. Personally, I think that would be okay. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's kind of what Abbotsford's for. The NHL is not, it's not a development league, right?
True.
And part of the
no, it's not a development league, but you can.
It's not a development league. Like that's my point. Yeah. But part of the problem with rebuilds is that there's excitement at the beginning, and this is borne out with like ticket sales and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of excitement at the beginning. There's early excitement if you win a lottery or have a new rookie, and then it really tails off if you don't show improvement. Like so by like year 2, like not like counting next year, like if the Canucks win the lottery and it'll be good next year. The year after, so if you're going into say count this as year 1, year 2, and so but you go into year 3 and you start off the year bad, tanks. People do not show up. It doesn't matter. Like if you have these young exciting players, if they're still losing, people just won't come. Just won't. It's
perfect. That's your plan. 2 years, baby.
That's why I think that's what they're gonna do. That's part of the motivation for it is they want to avoid that 3rd year. Like oh no, no one's coming. Because typically you show enough to not like you draft 3rd overall, and the 3rd overall probably isn't making your team.
All right, guys. Well, he also did mention that doesn't have good insight into the future because he's blown away by the present. Yeah. So, guys, that's all the news we have already.
So,
but there might more.
There's still an Allvin interview I haven't listened to or recapped yet, and there's the Rutherford thing. It's not archived at the moment we're recording this, so I'll have a recap up of that, and you'll have a video up of that.
Yes,
one day we will rest.
I'm not sure if Corey's going to be joining me. I'm not sure if Corey's going to be joining for that video. It might be just myself, but he's going to be joining us for future videos. Don't worry, we'll get our conversations going. So, guys, thank you so much, Corey. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody that watched this video, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.